Hello and welcome. I call the channel the Jungle Nook, and I just got back from the fish store. I got a really nice piece of driftwood that I purchased that was actually in an aquarium for nearly 2 years. I want to get that. I have an aquarium right behind the camera. I want to get that into right away. But I do have several tanks which we will be adding new fish to, and I got some new plants for the tanks as well. We'll go into the fish room and look at them in a little while. I got the fish acclimating temperature-wise, so let's give that a little bit of time. We're gonna walk around this room real quick though, and I'll just get you caught up to what's going on in here. This is the room that I refer to as the Nook. It's my largest room. It's where I grow out my tropical houseplants. But there's several aquariums in here too. Let's take a quick peek and see what's going on. There's several tanks in this room. This one over here I refer to as the swamp tank. It has an African leaf fish in there. He's really shy. I'm sure we're not going to see him. But this is his tank. And the next time I get some feeder fish for him, I'll be sure to show when he comes out. This is his tank. It's been set up for quite a while. I don't mind all the algae and stuff that's in there. Cool piece of driftwood that's sticking out of it. All different types of plants. A lot of glare. And I got a 55-gallon tank in here as well. That's right over here. And I got a pair of crebensis in there, cichlids. And I also have a school of Congo tetras. This tank needs some work as well. There's a lot of duckweed floating, and the glass on top of the tank needs to be cleaned. There's not much light getting in there. I got a nice piece of driftwood over here with some plants attached to it. But yeah, this tank needs to get cleaned up. That will be getting done here fairly soon. Look at all the duckweed that's in there. It's blocking all the light. What I'm going to do is these plants here, I'm just going to take the tips off and replant them, put some root tabs in there, and that will be that. Over here, let me grab some food. So now in here I do have a beta, but I also have a small school of dwarf rasboras, I believe. And the rasboras are spawning. Every so often I'll see some babies in there, usually after I do a water change. I haven't made one of these videos in a while. So I really don't do much with my tanks. But I have been cleaning them up and making sure the heaters and the air stones and everything work on them. And I cleaned up the glass a little bit. Removed some duckweed out of a bunch of the tanks. And now I got some new fish to put in, so I figured it's time to make this video. Now, over here is a 75-gallon tank. You guys have probably seen it a bunch. In this bag here is a piece of really cool driftwood. I'm gonna go grab the tripod and I'll film putting this in there, and I'll show you the stuff that came out too. That I did have driftwood in there that wasn't working. This is a newer Aquascape. So I don't know if I said it, but this piece of driftwood was in an aquarium for over 2 years. It's got some moss growing on it, just a little bit. Want to get this in the tank. I just planted a whole bunch of plants in this tank that I collected from a local lake. So this is going to be one of my natural themed aquariums. I'll show you some more. These are aquariums where I actually collect stuff from ponds and streams and lakes and stuff to get a nice diverse food web in them. might get this in there real quick while it's still moist. And then I'll show you the piece of driftwood that I took out. It's actually two. It's going to be going in there like this. Oh, I hope it fits now that I'm looking at it. Oh, maybe it should go like this. Yeah, I think it should. So here it is. It's really beautiful. And I got lucky that it was in an aquarium for as long as it was. And the aquarium that it's been in for, I think he said 2 years, that aquarium's actually been, I don't even know how long. I've been going to this store for probably 5 or 6 years now, and that tank's always been there. I didn't even know these pieces were for sale. Yeah, I'll show you the back. So, oh, that's nice. This will be nice back here for fish to hide. All right. So anyway, it's going in this tank right here. All this long grassy stuff, I don't even know what it's called, but there's a lot of it, a lot more than what it looks like, planted in this tank. I just stuck it everywhere. It will spread, and there's a few other plants that have been in there for a while. This is what I used to refer to as the 75-gallon work tank. It does not have a heater right now. I'll put a heater in here, but I guess I don't need one at the moment. But I do have a heater for this. For circulation, I just got a little pump over here. There are a lot of shrimp in here. Here's some on the back there. I really don't want to turn this back on, this overflow filter. But yeah, let's put this in there right now. I know this tank don't look like much right at the moment. And it probably like, wow, look at it. It doesn't look good. But I've set so many aquariums up. I know you don't got to have that perfect looking aquascape when you first set it up. Just give the tank time and everything's going to look beautiful. Well, this tank's getting awful cloudy. We'll have to come back here later and take another peek in it. There we go. It is what it is. I got a really nice Fluval light on it too. We'll let that clear up in there. Come back, look at it in a little while. And this was the piece that was in there. I had soaked it for a couple months. It was still floating a little bit, so I just set it in there, and I figured eventually it would sink. It's actually 2 pieces. And I thought it would sink, but it floated in there for 10 months. I'll still use this for something. It may even end up in an aquarium at some point. I'll have to get some stainless steel bolts and stuff and attach it to a piece of slate or something. It is a pretty cool piece, a lot of interest to it. I will use it for something. I have another piece that, you know, didn't sink for me neither, and instead of screwing it to something heavy or gluing it to something heavy, I just used it as decor. You guys hear Ollie in the background? Never fails. But yeah. So yeah, this is the Nook. That's what I refer to as the Nook. Got a bunch of my plants in here. This is actually a good time to be doing this video because we had some cold weather and I had to move a bunch of my plants inside, so the room looks a lot fuller with all these plants and stuff in here. Just giving you a quick look. I know it's a fish room tour. Just waiting for those fish to get acclimated so we can release them into the tanks. All right, let's go into the fish room. So, I've been working on my tanks now for about 3 weeks off and on, getting them ready for some sort of a fish room tour. And I cleaned the glass, it was maybe a week ago, maybe a little longer. I went through and cleaned the glass and removed some duckweed and stuff. And I think I use a razor blade. I use a razor blade when I clean my tanks. And I don't think I clean the razor blade enough. I think I contaminated my tanks. I'll show you this rack right here in the order in which I cleaned my tanks. So this tank up here, which used to house my green and orange shrimp. After I cleaned the tank, within 6 hours, they were all dead. Every one of them. There was over 50 mature shrimp in here that could breed. They were, they were member eaters. They all, within 6 hours, died. I did try to do water changes and stuff, but I think I really contaminated it bad. This one, it took about the same amount of time, and all of the shrimp in here died. This was my blue and my black shrimp. Blue, black, and purple. They were in here. We do have a new fish, some kind of a dwarf gourami, I believe, going in here now. But yeah, all of the shrimp in here within about 6 hours died. Actually, it took a little bit longer, but they died really fast. These are the first 2 tanks I cleaned. I then cleaned this tank down here. Let me grab some food so these guys come out. So there were no shrimp in this tank. This was the 3rd one that I cleaned. The reason there were no shrimp in here was this glass was very dirty when I put these guys in here. There's a male and a female. And I cleaned the glass. I put these fish in here, not realizing there was a huge colony of green shrimp. I thought they weren't acclimated correctly because they started swimming around so fast. And then I realized they were just wiping out the shrimp that I didn't realize were even in here. I did catch about 50 of those shrimp out, but by the next day when I tried to catch more, I didn't see any. And I've never seen any more shrimp in here since then. There is a female in here as well. This is all algae in the back. There's some driftwood in there. And I do have some shelters in here, some actual caves. Oh, here comes the female. But as far as the plant material is concerned, it's just that algae. The algae is doing the same as, your other aquatic plants. There we go. Keeping my water parameters real nice. But yeah, these 2 fish right here, where we just added that new piece of driftwood, eventually that's going to be their home. But anyway, moving along. And then I cleaned this tank. This tank this is where I moved those 50 green, and I already had a Skittles colony of all different colors in this tank. When I put those fish in there and I realized there were shrimp, I threw them all over here. It took probably a full week before all of the shrimp died in this tank. And I've been doing water changes, so whatever I contaminated the tank with, hopefully it's gone. I mean, I've done several water changes. This is just Java moss in here. That's the dominant plant species. Actually, at the moment, it looks like it's the only plant species. There is an upside down catfish in here, and a whole variety of snails. But all the shrimp are gone. I am going back to the fish store here within the next few days, and I am getting more fish for these tanks. So, yeah. All the tanks in this room, I would say, are at least 2 years old. And they are my natural themed aquariums. They do have dirted substrates of one type or another. Like all of these up here going across have fluval stratum, as well as I forget what it's called, balsamic rock or something. Basically, it's black lava rock crushed up. That's what the substrate is. I do like to have as many plants as I can get into my tanks, and you know, real low tech. There's a few actual overflow filters in this house, but it's mostly just air stones. Air stones, deep substrate, and as many plants as I can afford to stick in them. And you know, I try to propagate the plants too. But obviously we're going to be putting the fish in here today. Now, I guess we can come over here. I forget the names of these fish. The little red one, some kind of tetra, I do believe. And then I got some long fin danios here at the top. Oh, let's get some more food. This is a pretty nice tank. I used to have a lot of beautiful, beautiful algae. There's still some down here, but this wood used to be totally covered. Let's see if I can move the light back and we can see it or not. But there is, yeah, this tank is so overgrown now. There's a whole wall of slate. Well, I guess you might be able to see some of it back there, some. If you can. This tank has matured really well. This is like a 2 or 3 year old tank. The algae was quite beautiful in here, but the plants have grown, and I got plants on the top of it too. I just knocked some of them into the water. These were actually up here. This light doesn't even get hot. Oh, not even showing you. Anyway, back to how it was. So yeah, long-tailed zebra danios and some sort of, they might be a tetra, I'm not even sure. This isn't that kind of channel where I get all scientific and can pronounce the names or even remember what the stuff is. But everything seems to be doing good. Okay. Moving along. Well, let's go down. I will be doing some work in this tank today. This is my grow out tank. It's also a dirted tank with topsoil. I got some sort of rainbow fishes in here. That guy's going crazy. Got some rainbow fishes in here. Wow, look at him go. And I got these guys down here. I hope they're not aggressive. There he goes, he calmed down. It's some kind of rainbow fish. That's all they had. They're really cool. I think I have two, I at least have one female. There might be 2 females. I do normally like to have more females than males. I'll get more of these. They are supposed to be getting more. It's part of the reason why I'm going back. But I do want to get some more females. Down here, now let's get some more food. I need food. Well, there's some cherry barbs. If you look in the back, there's a little hole right there. There's more slate. I have slate walls in a bunch of my tanks, just pieces of slate piled up on the back. But if you look, there's a little cave there so they can get behind it. They can get around the sides too, but I just seen a couple of them go in there. But we'll feed these guys and get a look at them. They got really nice color, real nice color. Because I like to, I do put the females in with the males so that they do color up. But also I like to give them a varied food. You know, I like to vary the food, or variety. I like to give them a nice variety of food. Let's get them out into the light more so we can see them a little better. But I got some more plants we're gonna put in this tank as well today. Probably no root tabs. This tank and the one I just showed you above this one actually has topsoil. And then I capped it with black blasting sand. And then I even did put a thin layer of fluval stratum just because I like the color of it, really. Yeah, they're not all out. We're not gonna get to see them all. But yeah, I got some more plants to put in here. Let's see, is she gonna go in the cave? Probably not, because there's food, but can't believe there's still shrimp left in here with these fish. Oh, there, one just went in there. I don't know if I got it. But yeah, they go back there. It's pretty cool. They go back there because there's hardly any plants in here right now. They used to just hide in the plants. Anyway. So, I'm going to start on the bottom of this rack when we start looking in the tanks. But I do got some lights. Now, these aren't even grow lights up here. They're just LED shop lights. They were cheap. But the plants, the house plants seem to do just fine growing out of them. I'll show them real quick before we turn the lights off. If you guys want me to do a video on growing house plants out of the water, out of your tanks, and use them as part of your filtration, I can do that. Here right now I'm just going to cut to another group of tanks in another room that weren't going to be part of this video, just to show you them. It's very similar to this. This is just another grouping of tanks. I got 5 10-gallon tanks on here, but here's a bunch of plants growing out of it as well. Actually, the lighting, if you look up here, the lighting has failed. They don't even turn on no more. Sometimes they do, but they don't really turn on no more. So it's growing a little weird, the angles they're on, but yeah, this is pretty cool up here. I got driftwood in the tanks. There's actually 3 tanks. This room will be in another video. I just haven't gotten into these tanks to clean them. I might be getting some fish for a few of these tanks when I go to the store in a couple of days. So back in here, we're going to go down to the bottom. I'm going to go right across and show you these tanks. Now these are my most natural themed aquariums by far. And that is because these tanks have been set up for a few years now, I would think. And I stocked them, the food web, from, you know, ponds and lakes and streams and stuff. I got several videos dedicated to these tanks right across the bottom here to show all the crazy stuff that's actually in here. There is all different sorts of flatworms and copiopods. Like there's seed shrimp, daphnia, I can't even think. There's just so much stuff in these tanks. I got to use my cell phone and really zoom in, and then zoom in through the editing software to see them. I don't have the proper camera, but I have other videos where I put the work in. You can see what's in these. But I'm going to be stocking these with fish as well. And this tank over here, I got some more Danios. I don't know what kind of Danios they are. Pretty sure they're Danios, but boy, when they get in the tank and we can zoom in on them, they look just like brown trout. And the pond water, or the lake water actually, that I've been getting and putting in this tank, as well as the plants and all the life form, the food web that's in here. You know, that lake is pretty well stocked. It's called Hardwood Lake. It's pretty well stocked with trout. So I thought it would be cool to put trout in here. I mean, there's things that did not come out of that lake, like the dragonstone. I do see there's some Java fern right there. That obviously wasn't from there, but all the rest of the plant life in here was. And I really hope this school makes it. This is like a new experiment for me with these really natural themed aquariums. See how the fish do once I put them in there. And this one over here, like, I'm not going to see in this camera, but I see a lot of daphnia and seed shrimp swimming around. There's no fish in any of these tanks down here. A lot of my tanks don't have any fish at all. But that's what I'm starting to do, is add fish to them. Alright, let's go and look at the tanks up on top. So pretty sure these are mollies. So I haven't been, catching the female out and putting her in a different tank while she's spawning to protect the young. I just put all this Java moss down here so they have some place to hide, and hopefully each time they spawn, one or two of them make it. And eventually I'll have a nice little school of these guys. And then over here, all I have in here is one tetra of some type. I don't see her. I'll be getting some different fish for this tank. It's another natural tank all set. Oh, there she is. So when I bought I bought a whole school. I think it was either 9. I think it was 9 of these tetras back here. But I didn't realize until I got them home they had ick, like really bad. And I did turn the heater up, but I lost them due to ick. I'll be putting some fish in here, by the end of the week. But that's what you get when you go to those big box stores, you never know. That's why I really like the place I just came from. I've never had an issue with their fish. They're a little more pricey, but they're well cared for by a really experienced staff. And I'm not saying the staff isn't always experienced at those big box stores, but there's only so much they can actually do. Whereas where I just came from, they really take care of their fish. They feed them quite well, and they get really large schools, and they'll be in their tanks for months before they're all sold. And it's really nice. It's really nice where I just went to. And then I got this tank over here, which sprung a leak. It only holds about this much water before it starts leaking. I'm not sure what to do with this tank. Really don't want to clean it out and fix it. I'm thinking just keep it as a terrarium. I might just scape this as a terrarium and put some salamanders or something in here. I don't know if it will show up. There are a ton of what I believe, I don't know if it's going to show up. I don't know if you see them hopping around. There are just a ton of something in here. I think they are water fleas. I don't know if you're going to see them moving around or not. All them little dots are water fleas or something else. If they're not water fleas and you can tell what they are, let me know. And I'm thinking a terrarium, that would be easy for me. In this tank, little 5-gallon tank, all that's in here are scuds. Scuds, that's it, and a bunch of roots from this monstera up here. I think that's all the tanks in this room, except for this tank right here. This is not really much of anything. There's some shrimp and snails in here. This is still just something that sits waiting for me to do something to it. All right, let's do a little work down here, add some fish and get them plants in there. Well, I got a little nervous because I thought maybe these were aggressive. I believe these are painted rainbow fish, and I noticed that all of the cherry barbs, when I put them in here, they all went right behind the slate. But I did notice that they're starting to come out again, and I did look these rainbow painted rainbow fish up, and actually the barbs are suggested as a tank mate, and these guys are actually pretty peaceful. I mean, like any other fish, they're going to eat anything they can fit in their mouth, but the cherry barb should be fine. I was a little nervous for a minute. Now over here, I did add the Danios into this tank, and I put some algae wafers in there to see if I could get like some of the life that's in here. Sometimes, you know, the seed shrimp and all the little life comes out and is feeding on it, but there was nothing on it. But I released these guys, and you see what I mean about how they kind of look like a trout? I just think that's so awesome. And as soon as I released them, they got real active. I had to go grab the camera. When I first put them in here, I've had Danios before. I have Danios now, and I'm used to them, you know, as free swimming fish, usually up towards the top. You know, yeah, they'll come down to the bottom and eat the food that goes to the bottom. But when I first put these guys in here, they were really rutting through the substrate. Like, they were turning the substrate over looking for stuff. That was really cool. Like, I wish I could have got that on video. But then when I grabbed the camera, well, actually I went out there to grab the camera, and I also was looking up those rainbow fish. But when I came back in, they started eating the algae wafers. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty excited to have all these different fish now. When I get paid, I'm going back. When I get my paycheck, I'm going back and getting some more fish for sure. Yeah, that'll be next week's video. Definitely can get a video out next week, for sure. I know I say stuff like that and it don't happen sometimes, but definitely. Because I'm so excited. Right now it is Wednesday. I actually get my paycheck tomorrow, so either maybe tomorrow or the next day, tomorrow or Friday, I'll be going there. Pretty happy. I mean, what's a fish room without fish? I have all these tanks and I haven't had fish in them for so long. I had shrimp in a lot of them. And okay, at the end of this video, which is coming up real quick, I'm gonna put some them boxes up for you guys to click on. They'll all be there'll be some of my favorite, or you know, some really interesting videos, especially of like this tank right here, of these natural themed aquariums, where you can actually see the life forms that are really in these tanks, which these guys are going to start gobbling up pretty quick. Alright, I think this is probably the end of the video. Please hit that like button, guys. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.